I'm Ray Allen, President and CEO of Peppershock Media, and today we're going to learn all about direct mail with Cahill Jones, the founder, chief bottle washer, everything that you do at
That's me.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about you and what it is that you're doing, and tell us about direct mail.
We started in business in 1990 as a regular print shop, and about halfway through the 90s, we had a customer call and say, hey, we'd like you guys to do some direct mail. And so at that very same day, the person that was handling our direct mail to market our company called and said, we're getting out of the direct mail business. Please come get your list. And I said, hold the phone. What are you doing with your equipment? Voila, we got in the mail business. And it's been really good for the company because we're able to provide a service to our customers where they get, they can see the tangible results.
Good.
It helps us rather than just provide printing, we're now providing a growth service for them to market their business.
So why is direct mail important? We have cell phones, we have all the things that are going on in the world today.
Well, that's why I was holding the cell phone.
Right.
We're all so busy today, and everybody is inundated with all these messages from street signs to the 45,000 emails in our email boxes. And
that's me.
And we're hooked to the phone and we can't get away
Right.
unless you turn your phone off. So,
Yeah.
But direct mail it's a protected source. It's out at your mailbox, so the guy hanging door hangers can't touch that box.
Right.
Only the postman can put something in there, no one else.
Mm-hmm.
And you have an opportunity to put your marketing message right in front of somebody. It's a billboard. You want to keep it short and simple.
Mm-hmm.
But it still is a proven method, even with the young people today, millennials,
mm-hmm.
more than half of them still want to get their offers made in the mail.
Right.
And they may make that purchase then electronically, and we'll talk about that as we go along about how to add that electronic component into your mail.
Right, to add value because you can use different tools to drive people to different forms of media, not just direct mail, but you can use that as
Exactly.
a piece of your entire campaign.
The synergy between all the different mediums, and that's where you help
Right.
your clients is pulling the whole thing together.
Right. And making it a part of the whole overall campaign.
Yep.
And then being able to track that and having a way to know that what you're doing is actually working and get an ROI on it and seeing, and we talked about it's not just how many people maybe went to your URL or how many people you drove. It's what else? What other things can we do to track it?
You can track it for the number of people that hit your QR code. Okay. We can do what's called a PURL, which is a personal URL, and you've probably seen that, rayallen.com at Peppershock Media. We've all been, so I don't want to say subject, but we've all gotten those in the mail. And so you can count the hits on those. Mm-hmm. You can count the hits that go to a specific landing page. Let's say you've got a client that's selling one particular product or service, and you would develop them a web page specifically for the offer. And you can see how many people hit that and then track that to, we got so many hits on the landing page, then how many people ended up in the shopping cart and how many people followed through all the way to the purchase, and kind of see where your hiccups are. Right. So you might be getting a lot of people to the landing page, but they're not following through. And that's where your crew will examine and help them fix that problem, make things easy for people. But people want to buy in different ways. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So some people want to pick up the phone. Some people want to walk in the store. Mm-hmm. Some people will get online and order. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so you got to give the opportunity for your consumer to buy however they choose, right. Not just how you would like to do business.
Well, show me some examples. So if we have a campaign and we want to include direct mail into our campaign,
yep.
And we want to make sure that we're getting in front of the right people on the right day in the right zip code, tell me a little bit about how direct mail works exactly.
Let's start with the basics of mail. So we all have the regular business size number 10 envelope. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this we might send out our invoices and our statements in, and those are always going to go first class. Those are just the rules.
Right.
So
first class mail.
First class mail. This is letter size. This is the template from the post office, and anything in this little rectangle here, which is 11 1/4 by 6, is letter size mail. Okay. So our number 10, our little 6 by 9, it fits in there. It can go with one stamp, depending on how much stuff you put in. If you overstuff it, then obviously you might need a second stamp.
Gotcha.
And then we go to the flat.
Okay.
So we've mailed these, and we always know how much is a flat. I never know the cost. And normally, so a flat is anything that goes outside of these four corners.
Okay.
So if I stick this in this corner here, we see, we broke the barrier, we're now a flat.
Gotcha.
So those are the basics of the sizes.
And when you say flat, do you mean flat rate? Do you mean flat? It's
it-
like flat as a pancake? What do you mean by flat?
Well, by flat, I mean nothing other than the fact that it broke this barrier.
Okay. Anything that means
It's
that.
dimension, yep.
Got it.
So shaped mail, but that brings me up another point. Shaped mail is a great marketing tool.
Right.
You want to mail somebody a pencil or a flash drive or something. If it can't fit in, you can't see this slot well, but it's about a 1/4 inch. It can, if it can go
Maximum
through there,
thickness.
it'll go through the equipment at the post office. If not, you're going to pay a surcharge for that.
So this won't fit.
Nope.
Not this, but something smaller than that.
That's going to cost you extra.
Okay, got
But
it.
it might be worth it, because as we go through return on investment, if you have a small targeted audience that you're sending to, maybe in a high value product,
Right.
you might want to send them to
It could be.
Yeah.
Could be worth it, depending
Yeah.
on what it is.
The next thing we have to talk about with doing our designing our mail piece is the aspect ratio. So everything is designed in the post office for automation compatible mail.
Right.
If you ever get an opportunity to go for a tour,
Yeah.
go. It's really cool.
Okay.
This postcard is flying through. They're reading 10 or 11 postcards a second. It's
really
It's
fast.
flying
Very
through.
fast.
So if you wonder
Right.
what's happening to your mail,
So then cows can fly.
yeah, cows can fly. Amelia,
Flying through the
can
mail.
fly.
Okay.
So the aspect ratio, so if it's a square piece, it might tumble in that
okay.
equipment and it gets kicked out, and there's a surcharge for that, because the post office wants to read this barcode for everything. And if I can't go through that machine and be barcode read, and if this thing just tumbled through,
Right.
caused a
there's
traffic jam,
more.
pulled it out, it goes and gets processed by hand,
Okay.
not by machine. You're paying extra.
paying
So
extra.
when you're designing your mail piece, you want to design with the aspect ratio and all these features to start with, so that you can always earn your best postage rate. The other part is the list, so you can earn the
list is
best
part.
postage rate, which you
Okay.
can automate that list.
With
So
the
that's kind of where we start.
Okay.
At the next step after that is to talk about who's your audience.
Right. Right. Who needs to receive
who-
this piece of mail and why?
Yeah, who are
Okay.
your customers? And so
Okay.
we've alluded to the fact that there's a return on investment.
Right.
And so we might get a lot of phone calls, we might ROI.
ROI or ROMI, return on marketing investment.
Exactly. And while we're talking about that, we'll put the lifetime value of a customer. So
Lifetime value. Yes.
I've been in business 27 years, and I have customers that have been with us 27 years. So they're very valuable. You want people, you want repeat business, and you might spend a lot of money getting that guy in once, and then what are you going to do to get him to come back in?
Okay.
So the first thing to do is let's determine our budget,
Okay.
and then let's talk about what the results we want. Where are we going to be successful? Where's the line, the finish line, or
Right.
or
What kind of success markers are there
Yes.
to make sure that what we're doing is going to be successful? What kind of key performance indicators are we going to have in the end?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
And that might involve training staff.
Okay. And by meaning training staff, training them on what?
Well, let's say you want to inform everybody that you're having a special, perhaps, or we're sending out this marketing piece, and here's what the marketing piece says, so that they're not surprised when they answer the phone and someone said, "I hear you're having a 2-for-1 special," and let me put you on hold. And we need to get everybody involved.
Okay. KPIs. And by training them in kind of all the way through from the idea to the implementation to the follow through, all the way through. And then direct mail piece, if we drive traffic to them, or we get them to the URL, or we drive them to their business, then what, right? That's
Yeah,
the part where we
right.
need to make
That's the
sure
part.
that they've actually, their money that they've spent on the direct mail will come to fruition and will help them increase their sales.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yep.
Good.
So the next step, maybe we'll want to hone our message,
Yep.
and that's where you come in.
Messaging, yes. And keeping the messaging clear and concise. Messaging. Anyway, keeping it clear and concise and making sure that we have all of the points of what it is that they want, what we want them to do, what kind of things we want them to feel, the emotions, the color scheme, the brand that we are using, their just every essence statement that makes what it is of why we're doing purposeful and meaningful. Right?
That's a great way to put it. I know a lot of times we hear that buzzword branding, but really it is this personality of the business and what we want to be known as and known by over and over again. And you don't want to vary from that. And we as basically printers, we like to make sure that our clients don't vary with their colors. Just because it's Halloween doesn't mean my logo can now be orange.
Right, you want to keep the consistent,
my
steady
colors
logo.
are, and everybody's logo colors should always be consistent and used with that consistent messaging.
Yes, same color.
Important.
Use the color callouts. And printers love when you can call out your colors specifically and making sure that it's right and the same every time, right?
Yep.
Yeah. When I say color callouts, give an example so that people understand what that means.
There's a PMS color, 300, which is a very popular color. There's red 185. We want to make sure that we hit that every time.
Right.
And we as professionals in the printing world, we keep samples of the jobs as they come through, so that when you reorder that job, I've got it from the first time, and I pull that file out, and I have an ongoing record of every time I've printed for you, so that I make sure that my colors are always the same. And that's important.
And when people proof them, they can come down and look and see what the proofs are. Or you send them to proof and say, okay, sign off on this because this is what we thought you wanted and what we thought you meant. Is this what you meant?
Yes.
Have you ever run into where somebody might be colorblind? What do you say to somebody who's colorblind?
You know what? I think that has happened before, and they usually bring somebody with them.
Oh, good idea. Okay, well, that's good.
Right, but in the proofing stage, there's a lot that goes on, and not just the phone number and the address. But,
oh, sure, call the phone number, make sure it's the right number, So have you ever come into an encounter where you do some A/B testing, where you might send a particular message to a certain audience and make that a controlled group, and then maybe send another piece to the same audience but with a different message, and see which one works?
We have done a few of those. In order for that to be effective, you need to make big changes. They need to be big so you can really tell the difference. It might be an offer of 20% off or an offer that lists the price.
Gotcha.
The subtle things, you can't really tell the difference, but the big ones you can start to see. Yeah. And then you hone in on, okay, this is how we'll do this from now on.
Good. Yeah. And you've been in the business long enough to kind of see some things that have worked for people that you can then apply. You know, have you tried this, or have you had this, or have you done this before? Because we what not to do and what to do, right?
You're right, and we always know that we get in trouble when we skip steps. Oh, I'm in a hurry and I don't. No, we can still do everything in a timely manner, but we do want to make sure we always cover our bases. I think you probably see that as well.
Our rule here at Pepper Shock is 2 sets of eyes on everything before it goes out the door, especially if you're rushed, and then you need 3 sets of eyes. Because when you're rushed, that's when the most mistakes happen.
Right.
I mean, truly, that's when the most mistakes happen. So that's when we really have to make sure that we're on our game.
That brings up another point about planning your marketing campaign. And it's not just, let's try some marketing next week and see how we do. And direct mail isn't something that you go out and test once. Right. I think I'll send a mailer once and see how that does. You know, you're really probably going to do 3 to 5 different mail pieces over a period of time, and then evaluate
if it's working.
If it's working or not.
Getting that ROI.
And I think you being the media professional know that's probably true of any medium.
Yeah. You definitely need to give it some time. You can't just try a one-hit wonder and, oh, well, that didn't work. Well, why is it that it didn't work? You know, you need to understand, is it the messaging? Is it who we're sending it to? Is it the audience? Is it piece? Is it the shape? What is it that's not working? And then you can kind of start to unpack that and understand what can be then of value for next time you do it.
Right.
And then improve. And, you know, ideally, you'll get even better response rates as you go and grow.
Well, I think the thing that Pepper Shock will also help with their clients is the discipline of the plan. And we're going to make a plan, and then Pepper Shock makes sure that the discipline is in place as it moves forward. Then we'll evaluate at the end.
Yeah. And did this, if something new comes up, does it go back and, you know, is it going to help us with our key performance indicators? Is it going to give us the return that we want?
Exactly.
Is it going to, you know, truly have the success that we set out to succeed with? What were our objectives? Who is our audience? Why are we doing this? What is it that we're going to get out of it? Right. Good.
Yep. And you know what that requires as a business owner? That requires patience. And
Of course.
That's not something we have much of, but we have to let go a little bit and let you as the professionals take control of that, and then we'll make a decision
I keep
later.
hearing the number go up time and time again about how many times we have to reach somebody before they actually even acknowledge the brand. And now, I mean, it used to be when traditional media was happening more and more, that's all that we were doing, TV, radio, print,
Right.
maybe 5 or 6 times. Now, with all the apps and all the emails and the mail and everything that we have, magazines, I mean, it takes literally 11 times before somebody will even acknowledge you or even understand who you are.
And then think
it's
that
crazy
it might take 3 times that they've
Yeah.
seen that before they ever react.
Yep.
So that's 33 impressions that you have to
that
get
you have
through.
to continue to grow and go and do. I mean, occasionally you'll get somebody that is in the mood to buy right there, right this moment. But that's it's few and far between, because now consumers have so much and business owners have so much at their hands to be able to research and understand. And so now you really have to cut through all the clutter.
Yeah.
I mean, and business owners who have 45,000 unread emails in their inbox,
Yeah.
which I really do. I mean, it's like
Exactly.
you got to
So
find a way.
That kind of brings me to a point as we're starting our planning for that. We think about we're gonna have to erase this, but there's your target, and so this is where they're buying.
Right.
And your customer is somewhere in that neighborhood, and you start hitting them with your mail pieces. Now you might be getting them here, and it might be months before they ever get to here. So you got to be consistent. And hitting and continue
And you might
to
do
go.
a mail piece, you might do a Facebook ad, you might do a targeted direct mail piece, you might do, QR codes. It's going to drive people to the traffic, and then you retarget them, and then they see ads everywhere.
Yeah, but it takes all those things together because one of those will not work by itself.
Exactly.
I think that's what people have found out with other forms of media. Well, I hear this is the way to go, but that's all they do.
Right.
They're not going to see a lot of results with that. They need everything.
It's got to be a good marketing mix, for sure.
But be a good mix, and so that's part of the planning, is to say, I'm selling ice melt in July. I'm probably not going to sell very much.
Right.
But if I start advertising what people want to buy when they're going to buy it, then I probably have a better chance of marketing or of getting my return on my investment. So we've talked a little bit about, we've started with the mail piece sizes. So now we know that when I stick this in the mail, I meter it at my office, it's 46 cents.
Right.
But when I do marketing mail, I get a lower rate.
Gotcha.
From the post office, because of all the things that we as mailers do to that piece before it hits the post office. So when I put together this postcard, I'm barcoding it so that I get an automated rate. So
it's going to spit through that machine.
It's going to fly through that machine.
It's not going to tumble. It's going to be good.
Do you know what? It's going 2 steps in as opposed to this one.
Right.
So there's 2 steps that I've skipped at the post office because I've already done the work in my office at BizPrint. So now that's why I get a discount, and I can mail this for about 21 to 23 cents a piece.
So it almost cuts. I mean, it does. It cuts it in half.
It cuts it way in half. So we want to start now. We've talked about the return on investment and who our market is. So there's a program out there called Every Door Direct Mail, and the post office is full of acronyms. So we got the EDDM, Every Door Direct Mail, and this has been a great program by the post office, but it's really, really unique.
Everyday direct mail.
Everyday direct mail, and it is designed for somebody who doesn't have a mailing list.
Right.
Who probably doesn't derive their business too much from a mailing list. I always like to think of maybe it's an ice cream shop or a deli in a neighborhood, and they know they're pulling people in from the houses around
within
them.
the centralized location that's around them. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm not going to drive 30 miles to go get unless it's really special ice cream, made out of red wine or something.
Yes.
So, and that's what this is a target of. This represents Every Door Direct Mail.
Okay.
So we have our target here. This is our location of our business. You can see the blue shaded area. That is the route that the postman drives in his Jeep.
Okay.
He parks his Jeep at this post office.
Okay.
We have to give him 683 pieces is what he delivers each day. That mail piece is 18 cents a piece.
Got it.
But you can't exclude residents, but you can exclude businesses.
Okay, so just residents? Or could you do it the flip side too, where it's just businesses?
Nope.
Nope, just residents.
So you can do residents and businesses or just residents.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's some odd, now here's the big odd thing with Every Door Direct Mail is it has to be a flat.
Okay.
So it has to break this plane.
So it has to be this size or bigger, or that
And
size or bigger.
well, so this is the regular postcard size.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This oddly looks the same,
Right.
but it's not.
Uh-huh.
So it pops out of that
Okay.
corner there a little bit, and
Okay.
voila, we have a flat. Now we
Now,
have
why do
an
you think
everyday
that is?
mural.
Why do we have to make it bigger?
I don't know.
Okay.
I wish
Maybe
I
there's
knew.
an acronym for that too.
I've heard, I've heard lots of different answers from the post office. That's just the way it is. It probably has something to do with the fact that this is going to the carrier. It doesn't go down to the plant.
Gotcha.
We're bulk mail entry unit, the BMEU. Again, we have all these acronyms from the from the post office. So it goes straight to the
carrier.
The carrier.
He sees something that's odd sized. He must have this idea, or he or she might have this idea that, oh, I need to do something special with this.
Yeah, this is easier for him to handle, probably.
And I saw that you wrote it was 18 cents to do that.
Right.
Okay.
No, there's no address.
Okay. Right.
I just have to give him 663 pieces. I can do multiple routes within that area if I want to.
And you can get very specific to the area that you want to deliver.
You can.
Oh,
So
it's very
you
effective.
wrap these. There's some other rules that go with it: the traying, the paperwork, the wrapping. You have to bundle them in hundreds.
Right. And that's when we
I
just come
wait
to
in
you and
line.
say, "Hey, BizPrint, help me figure this out."
Right. That's what we do.
Yes. Yes.
So,
We'll create it at Pepper Shock, and then we'll say, "Okay, BizPrint, now let's get these out to everyday direct mail."
You create the message. You do the pretty creative, and we stand in line at the post office and hand them over to the post office.
All right. I should say every door direct mail. See, that's what acronyms do to you. You kind of create your own, right?
So I've seen this used in some great ways. Obviously, the dentist office, they drive business from a neighborhood. Political campaigns have been real good because obviously their voters are in a district, so they
want to make sure they get that specific district.
Right.
Yeah. Good.
And we're in not a large community, a medium-sized community, so we kind of know where some of the areas are, where maybe some of the more affluent houses are.
Right.
And so if you've got a high-end product and you want to market into that area.
Somebody that needs, maybe a little more discretionary income that could spend on whatever that product might be, then they could go to that specific area and think about that.
We can target that. We've done that as well.
Good, good. Okay.
But where every door direct mail doesn't work really well is when you need to segment, and that's when they need Pepper Shock.
Right.
That's when you say, tell me what your suspect looks like. How old are they? Male or are they female? What's their income level?
Yes, and we do some empathy mapping and understand who they are and walk a day in the life of their shoes, so we know when they get that piece of mail in the mail, or when they get the message on their smart TV or their phone or their computer or their tablet or whatever that is that they're doing, we need to know what's going to resonate with them.
I like to think of you sometimes as the sketch artist at the police department.
Right, so we're profiling.
Yeah, profile the customer, and then we build all the data. And I think people would be really surprised.
Right.
At how deep we can dig with data these days.
And marketing is the industry that it's okay to profile, by the way.
Yeah, yes, that's right. Okay. That's right. It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. It's a very good
marketing,
thing.
Yes, exactly.
It's a very good thing.
So, Class A motorhomes is, we had a customer that wanted to market to Class A motorhome owners.
Oh, okay.
We can buy that list.
Oh,
we can boat owners, pet owners.
Now, when you buy those lists, do you get more than just their name and email? Name and mailing address? Or can you also get their email too sometimes? Depending on what
Can't do the email.
No, can't do the email.
Can't do the email.
Mostly just the address.
Yeah, right.
Where they are. Okay.
Just the name and the address. And one thing to remember when buying a mailing list is it's only 90% accurate. So you are going to get some back that were incorrect. And so just remember that.
And you can do return to sender, right?
You can do return service. Let's go back to this stuff a little bit, because when you mail in first class, what that means is you're getting all that service from the post office. So if I mail out an invoice, I put my first class postage on it, I get that service for free. Well, not really for free, but I did pay for it by getting the first class. So if they're not there, the post office will return it to me.
Yes.
And I can
then you can update the address or try to track them down.
But if I'm doing marketing mailing and I don't put return service requested on here, it might get forwarded on to them. I'll never know.
Okay.
But if I want them back, I can put return service requested on there. But I'm now, since I'm paying the standard rate, the marketing mail piece rate, I want that service. I'm going to pay for it when it comes back.
When it comes back, on the flip side. So you don't have to pay for it until it comes back.
So We either have the postman comes and says, I need another 46 cents, we have these returned.
Okay.
Or what we do as professional mailers is we keep an account, money on file at the post office.
Gotcha.
So the postman doesn't have to collect any money from us. He just drops
But
them and
then you're
runs.
notified if the address is incorrect.
Correct.
Okay, so then you know when you need to send it back.
Post office is very electronic these days. And as a matter of fact, with the intelligent mail barcode, the IMB,
IMB.
that you can get electronic updates as well as getting the little yellow sticker on there as well. And that helps.
Well, they're digital even when they, when you have to snail mail something, you still can get a
They're
digital
very
message
digital.
back.
You know, we're in Boise,
Good.
Idaho, and people are, the cards are being read down on South Cole, but someone is looking at them in Salt Lake City.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For
Because of the
for the
digital-
bad addresses ones, they get a little snapshot and they can. They
And this
can
isn't
fix it.
actually going to Salt Lake City, though.
No,
No,
but that's
because
where
it's
the
where they're
office is.
looking at it. Okay.
Yep.
If something's going to be.
The digital age, it doesn't have to be
Nice.
here.
Good.
Yeah, very cool.
Okay. Well, what else have you got for us,
So-
sir?
Got some other marketing pieces to show you some differences. So we've been over the every door direct mail and then the regular postcard size. We
Yes.
do a lot of this size.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then there's the newsletter
Yes.
and the tabbing requirements
Aha.
for newsletters that,
Okay.
that you might take it into, people need to take into consideration when they're laying out their piece.
Okay.
So if we mail it like this, guess what size classification of mail is?
Flat.
It's a flat.
Yes, it is.
Now if I fold it in half,
Aha. Yes.
now it can go as standard mail.
Okay.
And it's cheaper. Here we go, 23 cents.
23 cents.
But I had to tab it.
Aha.
So sometimes it might make more sense to pay a little more postage
Right.
and mail out my piece this way
Gotcha.
than to fold it in half and put the
Because this
tabs
is the
on it.
same size, roughly speaking,
It is, exactly.
but this is only going to be, what, 23 cents?
20
But then
they're
you have
both-
to pay to tab, right?
Yeah, but I had
Yes.
to pay to put 3 tabs on here.
Got it. Okay.
So-
then you have to do 3.
And I also had to fold it, so
yeah.
I
So
folded
folding
it.
it
And
into
yeah,
it.
these are the requirements from the post office. Again, the position of the tabs has everything to do with it going through the automated equipment.
Gotcha. Because it'll fit through 1/4.
Well, but it'll
thickness,
fly.
but-
But it's got the folded edges at the bottom, so it's just going through the equipment this way, and it's got a
Right.
tab at the leading edge. So it's not if it's the tab. If there's no tab here, this might get hung up.
So what would you do? Would you pay to tab it, or would you pay to do it this way?
I like to mail mine this way
Why is that?
because I think it gets read.
Aha.
And I
'Cause
think
you
it
don't
gets
have
opened
to
easier. My
tab it.
message is clear. I can open it right up. People can look right through it. If I get it this way, now
People
I'm
have to-
ripping
Yep.
tabs open, and
Yep.
and a part of doing direct mail, in my opinion, and you might agree with me, is I got a few seconds to grab their attention. And,
Right.
and
3 seconds or less for any kind of message anymore.
there we
People
go.
are just so
That's
quick
that's
to
why
go.
these are
Yeah.
so popular.
Right.
Is this message is delivered whether I wanted it or not.
Right. Right.
I get my mail, I got to make a decision.
And this is oversized, so this is going to be an everyday.
That's an every door direct mail.
every door
because
direct mail.
it's out of the
Yes.
box.
Okay.
Yep.
That's why you're saying political is good. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Very good.
All right. What
So-
else do we need to know?
Well, there's a lot we need to know. But
Sure, there's lots of
I know we've gone
considerations
through
for
a lot
direct mail,
really
yeah.
fast, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure if we skipped something, but
Yeah, no, there's always something to learn. And when it comes to messaging, oh, I have a question for you. Is it better to send out on a Monday versus a Friday versus a Wednesday? What's the secret sauce?
might be depending on what you're selling.
Okay. Let's say we want to attract people to Boise Fry Company for a grand opening event, let's say.
I would want to mail it out just a few days in front of the event, because the closer to the event I can get it, the better. But that brings up another point. So your standard mail doesn't get worked through the post as fast as first class, because
Okay.
every day the post office does all the first class mail first.
Got it.
Then they're working on the standard mail.
Okay.
So it might take another day or two
Okay.
for your standard mail to get there, and if you have a deadline, like a grand opening on a
Right.
Friday, and I'm having a party, if I'm going to go with the standard rate mail and at 23 cents instead of 46, which is what I'm probably going to
yeah,
do,
sure.
I'm going to mail it out plenty of time.
Okay.
So that I don't have any of those landing after
'Cause it could have a
after
couple
the due
days
date.
to
But
do
if
it.
I've got an important event and I'm inviting people to, I probably want to send it out first class.
Now, what about every door direct mail?
Same.
You can, do you know specifically what day it's going to be delivered?
You don't.
You don't know.
You
You
don't
just
know.
know a frame of
Yeah,
reference.
you know a frame of reference.
So if you dropped it on a Monday and said, here, we want you to deliver this, it may take 2 or 3 days or so. You just
Yep.
don't know. Okay.
Depends on the mail volume.
Right.
And we can't predict that.
Yeah.
The post office can.
Yeah.
But we don't know.
What's the most volume of mail? What day do people receive the most mail?
I think Tuesday.
Tuesday, because after the weekend?
Yeah.
And everything's getting processed?
So, right. So for my retail customers, they want their mail to hit over the weekend.
Right.
So we mail on Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
For my business to business customers, they want to mail on Monday or Tuesday because they want to have that week for the response to happen.
Okay.
So that,
well, that sounds like a lot of information, and hopefully people can rewind and watch and play again, and we'll get this out there so that they can.
We rifled right through it.
That's right. And how do we get a hold of you if we have questions?
We're bizprint.com, bizprint.com.
Okay.
And that's usually, and all the response stuff's there. They can call us at 208-338-9746.
Okay, and so what we'll do, if you have any direct mail needs and we need BizPrint's help, Peppershock can help design it, and then we'll take it over to Cahill and help us get it mailed and printed and delivered. And then Peppershock can help you on the flip side of getting the conversions and tracking how it's happening, what's happening, all of those types of things. And so you can go to peppershock.com and find out more information about us there as well. And thank you, Cahill.
Thanks for having me in today.
This is great. All right.
This has been good.
Yeah.